Today we're going to talk about communication. Hey guys, it's Jerry Mason, the Kickin lawyer, again here with you. Today we're going to talk about something that some of you may have experienced, and if not, if you ever have a lawyer, you will, and that's communicating or attempting to communicate with your attorney. So we're going to talk about a few basic things that are pretty much uniform in the legal industry on how to communicate with an attorney, and then sometimes why you might find some frustration with communicating with your attorney. So one of the first things to understand when it comes to attorney and client communication is this. Our time, attorney's time, is our stock in trade. So that's pretty much what we're selling is our time. Now, yeah, it's our knowledge and expertise and skill and whatnot, but most firms still do traditional billing where we bill you for our time. And that's literally in very small increments, literally minutes and increment times based on some hourly rate that's usually outlined in a fee agreement that you should see up front when you join a firm or when you hire a firm. Also, usually communication is set out up front, at least with most reputable firms. You can either in a meeting with the attorney or sometimes in some type of client contract, it explains what's to be expected on communication. So I would say always remember that when you reach out and communicate with an attorney, we're all about communicating with the client, and we try to get you the information as quickly as we can. Matter of fact, the rules of ethics require that we give you timely communication on certain issues, but I think sometimes clients are frustrated when they don't correlate that communication equals your bill goes up. So it's okay to communicate with us, but every time we communicate with you, your bill does rise. So types of communication, all modern types of communication, most firms have some ability to use. Obviously, the old school telephone calls work. Some firms have text message systems set up. They may have a calling center that can field some of those. And then almost all attorneys use email and or fax nowadays. And I personally prefer email because then I don't open it until I'm where I can actually work on it. And then I know that I've responded to you, and I try to do that in a timely manner. So email is usually best for me. Even if you have my personal cell phone number, I can't speak for all attorneys, but I'm in court a lot. So it makes it difficult for me to respond immediately like most people do nowadays via text. So we have some people that do have my personal cell phone, and they get a little frustrated when they send me a text and they don't get it right back. But I mean, during the work hours, I'm usually not where I can just readily go to my phone. So keep that in mind. So one big thing, make sure that this is a pet peeve of mine. Obviously, I really care for all the cases and all our clients. But unfortunately right now, I don't have just one client. Most attorneys are like that. We have multiple clients, and all our clients are equally important, and we want to devote appropriate time to each of them. And sometimes clients will come in unannounced and just basically expect to come in and see the lawyer. Well, it's no different than if you go to the doctor's office. It's very rare that you're going to come in and just get to see the physician or dentist or whoever right then. You have to have an appointment, and that's because, again, our time is what we bill through the day, and so we've usually allocated time either per case or per task or whatever during the day. So I would not recommend that you just walk in the office and expect to see the attorney because that's just not the way things normally work. Now, if it's an emergency, obviously we try to make arrangements for the clients, which brings me to one other point. A lot of times, so I know that the legal realm can be scary. It's a confusing thing, and it can be difficult for people to traverse, and that's why you hire skilled attorneys, is to help guide you through it. A lot of times, though, things will happen that really aren't emergencies, and people anticipate that we can just fix it right there, and then they're very frustrated when they don't get with us immediately, or they call a call service, and the call service gives us the message. It's not an emergency, it's after hours, and so instead of billing you more money, we bill double if it's after hours. Then we try to save you money and not respond immediately or whatever. And so I realize that creates some issues, but if we get the message and it's an emergency that we can help with, we will call you back. But our power is very limited. Most attorneys, really our power is limited in the scope that we really can just bring things before the court. That's pretty much the power of most private practice lawyers is we're able to bring things to a judge. We don't have the power to just do whatever, like a judge might, or maybe even law enforcement. So don't confuse that and think that lawyers are all powerful and something's happened in the middle of the night, we can fix it. That's not normally the way it works. Our firm's personal policy is we try to return all messages within 24 hours. Now, we don't always hit that. We do the best we can, but nobody's perfect, but we have a policy to attempt to return all messages within 24 hours, and especially if they're very pressing, we try to do that. So that's sort of a brief overview of the way communication may go. Again, the biggest factor I'd remind you of is, people fuss about bills all the time when attorneys bill them. One of the best ways to quell that is figure out who in that office you can communicate with. Like here, we assign you a paralegal. Our paralegals are billed at a different rate than we are. So sometimes we'll have the paralegal return the call and give a message or something just because it's cheaper for the client than if it takes my time to either email them or return a call. So it's not so much not wanting to speak with you. We really try to be mindful here, at least at our firm, with how we're going to bill the client. So anyway, I hope that was somewhat helpful and informative to you. As always, if you like the video, I ask that you like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to see any other topics discussed here, I'd be glad to go over those with you. Just leave me some information in the comments, and I'll be glad to get back with you. So until next time, hope you guys stay safe.